So today we're shooting with the MagMod system again, and why I do love these so much. But we're also going to be shooting with the MagBeam and their gobo system. Just a mix and match of everything and how they look and how they work, and the difficulties involved with these. The other thing is why you would want to upgrade from the old flashes to the new flashes. Some big leaps have been made that are really, really important. You'll find out why during this shoot. Anyway, let's get to the video and see how we did.
Okay, first off, don't judge me for my thumbnail. You have to have fun with these things. How could you not? Anyway, this side-by-side lighting, I really love with strip boxes. But with a smaller light source, it's tough, especially if they have long type hair like this. But you can do so much with side-by-side lighting with somebody with shorter hair, or, if it's in a ponytail, because you can really define a face this way. And, taking one down and one up, you can add a little bit of shadow, a little bit of fill, depending on what you want to do. But it's very hard with this type of small light source. So I just wanted to show that to start. As much as I love doing that, and it's so much fun to use with larger light sources, it's kind of next to impossible with longer hair and these small light sources. Now, next we're going to do your typical, basically where the light's set up. It's set up for like a loop light, and it's very flattering on most people's faces. But you can see here, the first thing I have to do is dial down that backlight or that rim light, because it's just too much, especially on blonde hair. I like a rim light, but I like it gentle and not as in your face. And through this whole thing, you're going to see, I can't dial it back enough. So I'm going to actually have to put this grid on it to bring that power down. But that's not my first problem with this. This is, the only problem. This is only the first problem. So I can dial back that light, and it's going to look better. But blonde hair, it's really, that's okay, but I still think it's too much. And not to mention that it's too much, but it's at the wrong angle. It's hitting the wrong spot on her hair. You can see in the middle here, that's the hot spot. And you go around to the top of the head and there's nothing there. So I have to raise that. And these little things are things with smaller light sources that you really have to pay attention to. I know the grid is helping, contain that just a little bit, but you really want to lift that and get the top of the head and go down. Now, this is a lot better. I don't mind the look of this, but to me, that rim light or hair light is still a little bit too hot for me. So they're the kind of things you have to keep an eye on when you're using small light sources like this, because you have very little leeway with shadows and with the turning the head in the right angles to get it right. Now, here, butterfly lighting. This is tough, and it's hard to get the look good even with larger light sources. That bottom light has to be dialed in, perfectly. Now, that's just the top light, and it's too close to her. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Even with the bottom light filling in, you're still going to get a raccoon kind of eye. So you got to pull back on a smaller light source. So make sure you pull back. That little bit of a head tilt up is going to help so much. But that's dialed in pretty good, and you can get that look. But again, I have her closer to the backdrop, so I'm still going to get the shadows. But you can see on the cheekbones and the nose and so forth, it's a good look. Now, I was getting a little bit of spill on that right side of her, my right. So I brought in the black just to, so it wouldn't bounce off that white scrim and go back onto the backdrop. And that helped quite a bit. And it adds a little bit more contrast to the image as well, which I love. I kept these warm because I wanted them warm. I wanted this look. And I'm pleased with this. I'm happy with the way it looks. Again, tweaking these and adjusting, fine-tuning, even, every movement that your model makes, because they are a small light source, you're going to have to adjust or ask your model to move back this way or that way because you're dealing with such small light sources. Now, having a little bit more light come up from the bottom isn't always a bad thing. And in some cases like this, it doesn't look too bad. It's not my cup of tea, but I know a lot of people love this, and it's not a bad look. Don't get me wrong. It's just not something that I would do on a normal basis. So I'm just going to break down this butterfly and use that as a backlight now and keep my main light right where it's at because I have it moved forward. And again, I may have to move that closer to me, depending on if she has raccoon eyes or if she, her head's tilted down, because that is pretty high right now. I get a little bit of reflection from the floor because it's lighter, but you see with the head tilted up, it's actually filling in her face really nicely. I have a great shadow underneath her chin. I like the look, but each photo, I'm going to have to tilt up a little bit. Otherwise, it won't look good. Let me just put it that way. So this is just one backlight and one light above her. Remember just to tilt that head up just a little bit, and it'll work a little bit. Now we're going to bring in that mag beam with their gobos. And this is just for fun. I wanted to see how I was going to do. Now, obviously, you really got to make some adjustments. You got to move it, take the shot, because it's a small light source, and you don't have a modeling light on most speed lights, which you would think, oh, it's going to be a pain. But yeah, I don't mind doing it. It only takes 2 or 3 times, and then asking the model to stand still. I threw a red gel on my fill light, so that light on the boom is more or less a fill, and the gobo is that strip of light, which is going to, hopefully take some of that color away on our face, and just give you some unique looks. And this is, it's fun. You do get some great shots from it, but this is more fun for me than anything, creating this type of image, and just, playing and having fun with it. The key here is obviously your gobo light is going to have to be turned up. Now, here's this thing. This is the HVL F45, which overheats pretty quickly. The HVL F46, the new one, will last 10 times as long as the 45. The 45 will not last very long in a shoot. I probably have taken maybe 70 photos with that, and it already overheated, so I had to switch it out for the 46, which is a main reason to upgrade. Even with, Godox and other brands, the updated flashes are giving you more time without overheating, which, if you're in a studio shoot like this, it can drive you crazy to sit around and wait for a light to cool down. With the new ones, I never have an issue. And I just grabbed that one first, the 45. It's the only reason I was using it. I wasn't even paying attention. But I'm glad I did, so I can say, this is a good reason to update the 45 to the 46 and the 60 RM to the 60 RM2. Just, for future reference, if you're looking and you want to cheap out on these lights, don't cheap out on the older ones. Get a newer one that's used if you want it a little less expensive. Anyway, so I kept the fill light with the red gel on it, and now I just switched this over to a vertical on that sliver. Again, just to have fun, play with it, and see what I could do with it. Okay? And I'm enjoying it. Like, I really, really love playing with these things. Now, I just switched out to the round gobo here. And again, it took me maybe 3 times, 4 times to aim it and to get the right aim and the right look with it. It does get a little frustrating at times. Sometimes you're just like, no matter what you do, it doesn't seem to be working. But you just hang in there. And I switched this out now. I switched back to the mag, whatever it's called, the mag sphere. I can't remember all these names. Just to play with it and get some more photos. And, I like the shadows. I like the way it looks. Now, I've never really tried this with on-camera flash, and I wouldn't take this on an event. And not that it's bad or anything. It's just big and bulky to me. But it works. It was fun using this and trying this. I like the light from it. You do get a little bit of a hot spot in the center, which is kind of the appeal of that. Now, tilting it up, obviously, I have a black ceiling, but it's going to spread the light a little bit more. I bumped up the flash just a hair. I put it at a plus 0.3, and it worked really well. I do like the look of this, and even close up. I mean, I do like the look of this adapter or modifier on camera. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the shoot. Thanks for watching, as always. If you have any questions, leave them below.